Sino nga ba ang tunay na Senate Majority? Si Win Gatchalian at Tito Soto o si Alan Peter Cayetano? Anong gagawin mo kung ilang araw ka nang nagfe-Facebook Live at naghihikayat pa nga sa ilang mga senador na huwag pumasok sa Senado para hindi ka mapatalsik sa pwesto at para hindi ka makagawa ng trabaho sa loob ng Senado?
Abandonment of responsibility, a dereliction of duty, and a blatant disregard of the rules that govern this institution. Because the Senate cannot be made to stop working simply because its presiding officer refuses to lead. Under Rule 14, Section 41, the rules of the Senate President may postpone the holding of the session after consultation with the majority leader and the minority leader. That rule was violated. This is not merely a procedural lapse. It is a direct violation of the rules of the Senate and a serious disrespect for the institution and the Filipino people. Senate President Alan Peter Cayetano should resign, as he has shown that he cannot function as the leader of the Senate anymore.
Let us pause for a minute of silent prayer.
Mr. Presiding Officer, I move to declare all elected positions in the Senate vacant.
Is there any objection? Duly seconded. The motion is approved.
Matapos hulihan si Senator Jinggoy Estrada for the third time, which is, third time's the charm, Senate President Cayetano issued this statement na kinokonsensya ang Senate minority para magtigil sa pagtatrabaho ang Senado in protest against Jinggoy's arrest. Kumbaga parang magsistrike sila. Wala kaming gagawing trabaho para lang malaman ng Malacanang o kung sino man na they don't like what they are doing against their notoriously, allegedly, but of course, unconvicted corrupt friend, colleague in the Senate majority. Pero ang problema, sinabi niya yon kinagabihan na matapos magantay ang Solid Block 11 nang patay ang wifi at aircon. Dahil 11 lang ang mga senador, walang quorum, and therefore, maraming batas at appointments ng mga general ang hindi natalakay.
Sir, anong reasoning nila, sir? Anong nakarating sa inyo, sir? Asan sila?
Just we only saw through social media in case Senator Alan. Diba may pinost siya?
Opo.
So, we're preparing a statement.
Gusto niya, sumama kami sa kanya na i-boycott itong Senate. Kasi sabi niya, kailangan daw independent ang Senate sa kahit sa anumang mga situation. Bakit? Rule of law naman yung nangyari sa pag-aresto kay Jinggoy. Ba't kami sasama sa pag-boycott sa kanya?
Saan uwi na po kayo?
Ano pang gawin namin?
Ano po masasabi niyo na maraming guests yung hintay?
Yan nga nakakaya yung ginawa nila First time ever sa kanila. Ngayon lang
Usually, bagyo.
Bakit po nakakahiya?
First time nangyari na
Ay, grabe.
presiding officer.
Walang walang abiso sa inyo? Formal na sila dati?
Walang abiso.
Hanggang ngayon, sir?
Hanggang ngayon. Pero may nakita nga kaming post. So, ang gusto namin magtrabaho. We demand na magtrabaho ang Senado. Bukas.
On our part, we just want to work. Gusto na namin magtrabaho, di ba? Bakit naman naka-hostage yung trabaho ng Senado?
Saan panawagan niya
It's
kasi?
never happened, 14 years ako sa Senado. Na yun palang nangyari na hindi sumipot yung presiding officer.
Pero hindi lang to basta boycott dahil there's more than what meets the eye. This is reminiscent sa pagkapit ni Cayetano sa mga leadership positions simula pa nung nakaraang administrasyon. Case in point, noong 2019, in-announce ni FPRRD na mayroong term-sharing deal sina Alan Peter Cayetano at Lord Alan Velasco sa pagka-speaker ng House of Representatives brokered by him personally.
So, your speaker will be Alan Peter Cayetano. Ang sharing dito is, he shares the term with Lord Velasco. And si Romualdez will be the majority floor leader. I tried to distance myself from but apparently I said, it's time that I talk.
So sa lahat ng mga congressman din na nakikinig, nagmo-monitor, please join the diehard Duterte super majority. Pati po ang ating House of Representatives ay pwede po magkaroon ng political will laban sa corruption, sa crime, sa drugs, at para maiangat ang kabuhayan ng bawat Pilipino.
Pero come the next year, nung matapos na yung 15 months na termino ni Cayetano, pinadlak niya ang batasang pamansa, pinutol ang kuryente, sinuspende ang session para walang makapasok at hindi siya makudeta at matanggal bilang speaker.
With the plenary hall at Batasan padlocked, Velasco's allies are forced to hold their own remote session inside a sports club in Quezon City. They used the sheer force of the majority to resume the session, which Cayetano officially suspended until November 16. That move is seen as a ploy to prevent Velasco from taking over. The Velasco bloc has their own housemates created to add legitimacy to the proceedings.
Ako po, inyong abang lingkod, Lord Alan J. Velasco, ay taus-pusong tumatanggap sa hamon na maging Speaker ng Kamara de Representante. I accept this once-in-a-lifetime challenge to serve as Speaker of the House of Representatives of the 18th Congress. To my fellow Filipinos, I will not let you down. You have my word.
The world ending today, but their session is nothing more than a social club na nag-violate din ng IATF rules. Ilang country club na ang sinara dahil sa pag-violate ng rules. So sila nga ang rule makers, pero sila din ang rule breakers. Diba? They can do that tomorrow after the budget. Why do they have to do it now? Anong gulo ang gusto nila?
Is it valid, sir? Is it valid yung nangyari doon? Legal?
Kung valid yon, Banana Republic na tayo. So you mean if I can somehow get 152 to meet in another country club tomorrow, yung ipapasa ko doon, magiging valid? What if I meet in somewhere with 152 and pass a different budget? Tatanggapin ng Senate yung budget na yan? But this is unprecedented. Never in the history of the Philippines ganito ka-baboy ang ginawa sa Kongreso. Never. Never. They could have the same effect of just being there, saying ganito karami, tomorrow we'll go to Congress, Cayetano, sana yung peacefully turn over. But for them to say that's an official session, di ba, is, I don't think it ever happened in the world. So it will be part of the Guinness Book of World Records ng pinakapambababoy sa isang legislature. Nakakaya.
Pero guess where siya nag-resign nung nalaman niyang wala nang sumusuporta sa kanya? FB Live. Something he's really fond of going to.
Gusto ko lang po unang magpasalamat sa atin mahal na Pangulo. As I have committed to you, I will help your administration. I will respect your leadership. There are no good leaders without good followers, so I am a good follower. I'd like to thank you, and the family would like to thank you from the bottom of our hearts. And papasalamat din po ako sa opportunity to be Speaker of the House. Pinakamataas na ratings ng House. Halos lahat po ng importante na pasa. In fact, marami dito ay pending na po sa Senado. Kita nyo po yung trabaho. Hindi po kami nagtago nung COVID. Kahit anong delikado po ay sinunod namin ang gusto ng Pangulo na maging simbolo ng pag-asa. No? Ang pagkaalam ko po talaga I was to handle the budget. And I was told until matapos yung budget para walang disruption, and I invited Congressman Velasco to join me. So Mr. President, if I made a mistake, mali ang reading ko, misunderstood ko na gusto mong ituloy at tapusin ko ang budget, ako'y humihingi ng paumanhin. Hindi ko intention, never, na hindi ka sundin. Tignan niyo po lahat ng aking interviews. So nung nanggulo ang grupo nila Congressman Velasco nung September, nagulo na talaga po yung sa budget. I tried to save it by being able to pass it quickly on second reading. Having said that, again, I will help. I will help quietly. I will help. As of last night, we had 152, 153. At yung kabila only had 121. Kaya nag-ahabol pa ng signature para palabasin totoo yung 187. But all of that is under the bridge. Let's unite Congress. But right now, verbally, I am tendering my irrevocable resignation as the Speaker of the House of the Republic of the Philippines. So ang pakiusap ko sa mga kasama ko, 3 o'clock ang notice ng session. At 3 o'clock, elect your new Speaker and pass the budget. Okay? Elect your new Speaker and pass the budget.
Now, at this point, 2 araw nang hindi pumapasok ang majority sa Senado, which is why it was a huge surprise na biglang nagsalita si Senator Win Gatchalian as the presiding officer ng Senado.
Let us pause for a minute of silent prayer. Amen.
Amen.
The Secretary will call the roll.
Mavic, the Deputy
Let it be put on record that the Secretary refused to call the roll. Let the Deputy Secretary for Legislation to call the roll.
Ang nangyari kasi, habang nag-aantay ang Senate minority ng pagdating ng mga Senate majority, mayroong binigay sa kanilang papel, which basically says na hindi ko na kailangan pumunta dyan as, Senator Alan Peter Cayetano or Senate President Alan Peter Cayetano. I am adjourning this session sine die, which means pwede na kayong umuwi kasi wala ng session na pwedeng maganap because again, babalik tayo sa July 27 sa SONA ni Marcos. Dahil may isang tuwid from Cayetano's majority, walang iba kundi si Senador at dating Senate President Cheese Escudero, who was welcomed with applause by his Senate or at least yung dating Senate minority colleagues at press sa plenaryo. Oh my God! Maalala ba natin yung sinabi ni Tulfo regarding Cheese Escudero as Senate President? Well, at the very least, hindi sila kain suka dahil nga again, hindi naman siya ginawang Senate President. Pero dahil dyan, may 12 ng senador ang nasa loob ng Senado. Pero di ba ang sabi ko last week, kapag 30 ng present o simple majority, doon lang magkaka-quorum. Bakit sila ngayon 12 lang ang may quorum? Paano na lang yung mga nag-walk out last time, di ba? Bakit nila binabatikos na hindi pumapasok itong mga to, nag-walk out itong mga Senate minority? That's a rhetorical question. Of course, there's a huge freaking difference between the two. Kasi yung iba, ayaw lang talaga pumasok. At yung iba, which is the Senate minority, pumasok sila. And they debated. Pero dahil alam nilang hindi makikinig sa kanila ang majority, well, they resorted to just grandstanding at pag-alis sa Senado. Ang kanilang rasyonalisasyon, naka-reach na raw sila ng quorum by discounting Senator Jinggoy Estrada na ngayon ay nakakulong sa bilang ng mga senador na realistically makaka-attend ng Senado, kumbaga nasa galamay or at least reach ng Senado, bringing the number from 24 to 23. Kaya ang 50% ng 23 ay 11.5. At again, dahil nga sinabi more than 50% or simple majority lang, they argued na dahil 12 na sila, hindi mo na kailangan ng 0.5 na tao para lang masabi na merong simple majority sa Senado. Because it is more than 50% na already by reaching the 12. They reached more than 50% for a quorum and for the session to be opened without the Senate President.
The Senate has been adjourned and unable to resume session for the past 2 days, placing us on the brink of constitutional violation had we not convened today. Thus, in the absence of a duly consulted postponement and the continued absence of the former Senate President pro tempore, and members of the majority, we are compelled to call the session to order. The quorum of 12 is based on majority of 22 senators, over whom jurisdiction can be obtained by the Senate. This is in full accord with the ruling of the court in Avellino versus Cuenco, that an absolute majority of 12 out of the 23 members can constitute a constitutional majority of the Senate for quorum purposes, and with precedent, specifically the May 5, 2015 session, where the quorum was based on 17 available senators, with 7 others beyond the Senate's coercive jurisdiction. Thank you.
They cited Avellino v. Cuenco at multiple instances na nag-iba ang meaning ng quorum depende sa mga pangyayari, with some situations na tatlong nakakulong na senador nung pork barrel scandal kung saan wala sina Juan Ponce Enrile, si Bong Revilla at Jinggoy Estrada again. Kumbaga parang pangalawang beses niya na to na nagiging dahilan kung bakit nababago ang quorum. Meron ding mga pagkakataon na nasa ibang bansa on an official mission ang mga senador o kaya naman ay incapacitated, like nasa ospital or something like that. Kaya nababawasan ang definisyon ng quorum para magkaroon ng sesyon sa Senado.
There are 12 senators present. The chair declares the presence of a quorum for the following reason. Out of the total membership of 24, there are 4 senators presently out of the country, and therefore they are not counted as part of the quorum in accordance with the decision of the Supreme Court. There are 3 of our colleagues under detention and physically unable to attend our session. That leaves us with 17 available senators, out of which 12 are in the session hall, and answer the roll call. The chair therefore declares the presence of the quorum for the record.
They installed Sherwin Gatchalian as Senate President pro tempore, replacing Legarda. At dahil for all intents and purposes, ang Senate President Alan Peter Cayetano natin ay elected position, it is also essentially vacant na rin, which means si Win Gatchalian ang acting Senate President dahil siya lang ang pinakamataas bilang Senate President pro tempore.
Ayon po nga sa sinabi ni Senator Pia Cayetano, so nandito po tayo sa ating pandinig. Kasi may nagtatanong kung nasaan. So hindi ay buhay na buhay, sa awa po ng Diyos, at hindi nag-resign. At simple lang po, kung merong 13 na boto na kakapagbigay at iba po ang iboboto, I would be more than willing to yield my position. Been there, done that. Just like 2022, President Mig Subiri, I was pro tempore, and we were ousted by Senate President Chis Escudero and Senate pro tempore Jinggoy Estrada. I more than willingly gave my seat. So just to make it clear, never po tayo nagkakapit ko sa anumang posisyon. Pero po ko para ipakita na nandito po tayo at hindi pa po tayo nagre-resign sa ating posisyon. At yan naman ayon sa Rule 2, Section 2 ng Senado. Salamat po. Patuloy ang inyong hearing. Ako po'y makikinig sa ating mga bayani na nandito po ngayon. Salamat.
Pero of course, hindi dyan nagtatapos ang usapan dahil Cayetano argues na hindi pa siya napapalitan as Senate President because it means the concurrence of the majority of all senators, which is 24, which means kailangan 13 ang bumoto para sa kanya. Pero, dahil umabsent siya, hindi natin alam kung ano ba talaga ang dapat nating gawin. Malay mo, naging incapacitated siya, pero, that's besides the point because we know that even though he is, loose in the brain, hindi siya incapacitated enough para magkaroon ng justification sa kanyang kudeta without the majority support of all senators.
So when I said a while ago that I am still the Senate President, the legitimate, the legal, moral Senate President, it's not about me, it's not about the position. Anytime po, pwede po ako mag-resign, pwede kong ibigay ito sa iba kung may 13. This is about democracy. This is about an independent Senate. This is about fighting corruption. You cannot say you love democracy, but walang checks and balance. Hindi pwedeng sabihin you love democracy, pero pag mali yung numero, invento na lang po tayo.
Pero isa sa mga parang medyo weird, dahil pinalitan ni Tulfo si Pia Cayetano bilang Blue Ribbon Committee Chairperson, nakansela rin yung nakascheduled na BRC ni Marcoleta tungkol sa flood control. Pero nagkaroon ng girian sa Senado which resulted into a forced BRC hearing kung saan nakipagtulukan si Pia at Robin kay DILG Secretary John Vic Remulla along with their staff para makapasok ang 18 ex-soldiers or as Rodate Marcoleta says it, the brave, the diligent, the most honest 18 ex-Marines. Now, the quote-unquote flood control investigation ni Marcoleta turned into a propaganda spiel at humiliation ritual as he brands the media as a bayaran. Bakit ba kayo bayaran? Ba't kayo nakatanggap ng malita? While simultaneously asking, bakit walang nagko-cover sa mga sinasabi ko? Bakit walang nagko-cover sa sinasabi ng 18 ex-Marines? Kasi ba sinabi ko na bayaran kayo? Who knows?
Kayo pong mga participant sa media, nakaramihan po sa inyo ay bayaran. Sasabihin ko na sa inyo ito. Meron po bang nagsalita sa kanila?
Marcoleta, sir, with all due respect, the media felt you made a sweeping accusation against the media na sabihin niyo po na bayaran ang mga media. Can you just clarify the statement and kung ano po yung ebidensya ninyo para sabihin na bayaran ng media?
Pwede niyo bang i-play yung statement ko if I said that exact sentence? Baka hindi ganun ang pagkakasabi ko.
Ilan sa marami.
Diniretso ko ba, media? Ganon?
Yes, sir. You did, sir.
Gusto ko lang marinig muna para dami niyo. Parinig sila.
A recording.
Ha?
Parang ganun yung
Na?
You meant PR.
O yun. Kasi sabi mo, media, parang lahat na eh. Hindi ko nila lahat. Kasi, I'm coming from deep frustration.
They also name-dropped every Duterte political opponent as corrupt at nakatanggap ng malita at virtue signaling and moral grandstanding. Kumbaga, they're leading the witnesses. Oy, eto ang sasabihin mo ha. Kasi ako pinanood ko kanina lang in its entirety. Parang ang bilis nila sumagot sa isa't isa. Ang bilis nilang magtanong sa isa't isa. Kaya naiisip mo is this thing scripted? Is this thing orchestrated? Is this thing rehearsed? Hindi natin alam.
What I'm saying, but nagulat ako dito po sa letter E42 nakalagay dito, nag-deliver kay Senator Tito Soto. Pwede nyo bang i-verify? Totoo po to at ay kwento nyo yung circumstance.
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor.
More or less kailan? When?
Year 2024 po, bago
campaign period?
Yes po.
Okay. So, kaya ko to tinatanong dahil mabigat sa akin to dahil nga pinaniniwala natin yung Blue Ribbon Committee na pinamunuan ni Senator Lacson, but everyone knows, magpartner talaga yan si Senator Tito Soto and Senator Lacson, no? Not partners in business, but partners in politics, no? And then, dun sa susunod na paragraph, pero walang pangalan kung sino, nandito din pangalan ni Senator Erwin Tulfo, na pinapangalan nilang susunod na chairman ng Blue Ribbon Committee kung sila masusunod. Sinong may alam nito?
Dito po, si...
So, babalikan kita, sir, ha, dun sa details kay Senator Soto. Kay Senator Tulfo?
Ako po, magandang umaga po, Your Honor. Ako po yung involved doon kay Senator Erwin Tulfo.
Third lang, nagulat lang ako sa mga pangalan na to. Letter J, Franz Castro. Nasa Progressive Bloc to at nandito siya nung Martes. Martes at basta this week nandito siya eh. Tapos Leila de Lima. Pag sinabing sila, sino pa usually kasama ni Franz Castro? Not necessarily sa pera, sa meeting.
Yung babae rin yun, Your Honor, yung lagi niyang kasama. Tatlo yan sila, Your Honor, kasama si Raul Manuel at saka yung isa pa. Si Franz Castro at saka si Brosas, Your Honor.
Nilist down nyo sa paragraph 43, babanggitin ko na, salita nyo naman ito eh. Ito yung mga nag-deliver po kami mismo sa bahay ng ilan, sa HOR, at yung iba kinuha nila sa Unit 8 o Unit 9 ng Polo Club Townhouse, Forbes Park. Sila yung mga sumusunod. Benny Abante, Sia Adyong, Jose Alvarez, Jojo Ang, Townhouse, Julien Baronda, Townhouse, Ace Barbers, Townhouse, Ching Bernos, House of Representatives, Arlene Brosas, House of Representatives, Townhouse, Franz Castro, House of Representatives, Townhouse, Joel Chua, House of Representatives, Manix Delipe, House of Representatives. Ito nga, si Laila de Lima, Townhouse din niya kinuha. Dan Fernandez, House of Representatives, Townhouse. Janet Garin, House of Representatives, Townhouse. Dong Gonzales, Townhouse. J. Konghun, House of Representatives at Townhouse. Jerbil Luistro, House of Representatives. Raul Manuel, House of Representatives and Townhouse. Ito yung mga makabayan group na sinasabi ni Senate President kanina eh. Raul Manuel, Franz Castro, Arlene Brosas. Ito yung makabayan block. Na kapag nagsasalita sila sa House of Representatives, matagal ko po silang nakasama roon eh. Wala nang ginawang mabuti ang gobyerno. Palagi sila na nang mabuti. Na parang sila, ay ngayon pala di ko sinasabing totoo lahat ito, kaya kayo nandito para patibayan ninyo, para tindigan ninyo na totoo lahat ang sinabi nyo rito. Sandro Marcos, Forbes Park. Paulo Ortega, House of Representatives. Joseph Paduano, House of Representatives, Townhouse. Stella Kimbo, House of Representatives, Townhouse and Residence. J.J. Suarez, House of Representatives. Erwin Tulfo, ayun, Green Hills, House of Representatives.
Na-cover na natin sa channel na ito ang 18 ex-soldiers at conveniently, lahat ng nakausap at nabigyan nila ng maleta kalaban sa kampo ni Duterte. So, that's such a fun surprise at coincidence na walang madumi sa kampo ni Duterte since time immemorial. Kasi dito, biglang nadagdag si Tito Soto, si Lacson, si Tulfo, ang Makabayan Block, si De Lima, Trillanes at House Leadership. Lahat raw sila nakatanggap ng malita kay Zaldico at Martin Romualdez and maybe even Bongbong Marcos. In-address din ni Marcoleta yung mga speculation, yung mga pinagsasabi daw na bakit raw ba hindi sila pumipirma sa partial flood control report ni Lacson at bakit kailangan pa nilang ikudita si Lacson. Sabi nila kasi parang meron daw silang pinoprotektahan. Well, need I remind you na yung sinasabi nilang pinoprotektahan ni Lacson is nire-rekomendang imbestigahan ni Lacson doon sa partial report. Si Martin Romualdez nakalagay doon along with other senators at mga big fish nakasuhan at imbestigahan palalo para magkaroon ng fact-finding at of course plausibility finding ng mga nangyayari at mga pinaggagawa nila bilang leader ng Kamara at Senado. Dati tinatanong ng Marcoleta, bakit hindi mo ini-invite si Orly Gutesa? Bakit hindi mo ini-invite si Zaldico? Bakit hindi mo ini-invite ang ating brave, diligent, at honest 18 ex-soldiers? First off, why are you speaking of their credibility as if it is written in stone? Why are you saying na they are brave, they are honest, they are diligent, they are the best people in the world? They are the most credible people in the world. Samantalang you're just in a fact-finding committee. You're just investigating. So why are you testifying to their credibility? Pero, need I remind you na si Lacson, nung nalaman na papalapit or parating na dito si Zaldico or nahuli na siya dun sa Prague, sinabi niya na ang 18 ex-Marines, si Orly Gutesa, si Zaldico, lahat sila iimbitahin para magkaroon at magkaalaman na nga ng ating mga pinagsasabi. Natatawa pa nga ako sa sinasabi ni Alan Peter Cayetano na katulad na lang ng sinasabi ni Senator Lacson na dating Blue Ribbon Committee chairperson, we will follow where the evidence trail goes. Pero ang problema, wala namang ebidensya na sinabi ang mga 18 ex-Marines na ito. Walang ipinakitang substantial na ebidensya that links any of those people who they allege to be a part of this whole scheme. There is no substantial evidence for that. Sa daloy ng usapan ng fact-finding inquiries ng Senate President at ng Blue Ribbon Committee, or if it even is a Blue Ribbon Committee, and even if the Senate President still, puro na lang guided questions. Puro na lang allegations. Kumbaga, there is no clear evidence. There is no clear evidence. Only a clear objective and conclusions. Now the question remains. Sino nga ba talaga ang tunay na Senate majority? Sino ang hahalili sa impeachment ni Sara? Sino ba ang nagpo-pull ng strings from before or from below or from the back? Legit ba itong Blue Ribbon Committee hearing na ito? Bakit biglang kinilala ng Malacanang at House of Representatives ang bagong mayorya? Planado ba iyon? Hindi natin alam. Lahat ng ating mga tanong, iisa lang ang pwedeng sumagot niyan. So I begrudge and plead to everyone na puntahan ang mga Diyos ng Padre Faura, ang Supreme Court. Kasi mabagal sila magdebate. Pero at the very least, their decision will be final and executory. Ibig sabihin, kung gusto natin malaman kung sino nga ba talaga dapat, well, the final court is the final court because it is the final court.
Ang video clip na ito ay galing sa aking series ng News Unworthy Recap. Check the entire videos for the complete weekly news recap and subscribe to the channel to be kept up to date sa mga local at global news na I'll make sure will be interesting to you. Particularly you, whatever your name is. Hindi ko alam, sorry. Salamat sa panonood mga ka-farmy. Like, subscribe, follow me like sa socials and avoid Joseph that will be linked down below. So, susunod of course. Paalam.